Hello everyone, this tutorial is for those of you using chalk pastels. You'll need your picture pulled up, you'll need the white piece of construction paper, and then you're also going to use the black piece of construction paper. You're going to try both, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is fold my paper in half. And the reason I do that is just it gives me multiple areas to try out different colors and combinations. You might not like the first thing that you try. I have a scrap piece of paper out, so if you have like a loose leaf piece of paper or even a paper towel near you, have that ready to go, because the chalk pastels get really messy and they all kind of look brown, but I promise they are not all brown. We're gonna have to clean them up a little bit. So before I start, I'm gonna take inventory. I wanna see what kind of colors I have. Let's see what this one is. So get all that brown off, and you can see that's a nice peachy shade. So I'm gonna start by cleaning up the colors that I like. Since I already have a bunch of pinks out, I think I'll just go with some pink and red and purple combinations. Clean off the sides. You can do this again on a paper towel. Just keep it away from your final paper so you don't make a mess. Okay, and what else do I want to use? I need something dark. So is this black? Yes, I'm gonna use black and purple and maybe this blue. I think those are the colors I'll stick with for this project. Okay, so I'll kind of just move away these other ones, and I can test out the rest of these later on a different section of the paper. For chalk pastels, I also like to use paper towels. Sorry, I just had to walk away to grab a piece of paper towel. You don't have to. I like to use it. It also helps me kind of like wipe my fingers off when I get really, really messy. So let's get started. This is the picture I'm going to use. Step one is to draw your image to proportion. So I'm going to basically put my brain in upside down mode, in which I kind of measure how far away each shape is from the edge of the paper. So let's start with the bottom part. Okay, and I have a few petals down here. Okay, this is the main petal. I have to really pay attention to where that belongs. It starts right around here, and that distance looks pretty close to something like right here. Let me connect those dots. Okay, and there's a petal right there. All right, there's a petal behind it. Just make sure you're connecting them where they're supposed to be connected. So kind of measure with your eyes where this intersection takes place. It should be like right around here. And this petal is slightly taller than that one. So maybe right here. Connect those dots. I'm gonna just ignore this one. I think this will look better if I just have the bigger petals. Okay, and then figure out where these meet, right about there. Get it as close as you can. I'm not terribly concerned about it being like 100% perfect, but you want to keep the integrity of the original composition, because that's what I approved. So if your drawing looks way different than this, you might be upset with the grade you get if you weren't able to keep the same composition and general shapes, okay? So the next step, I clearly am not using the same colors that are right in there. I'm gonna make up my own colors. But the reason I need a reference image is to kind of show me where to put the dark colors and where to put the light colors. And then also right here where they overlap, notice how this petal is lighter and then this petal is a lot darker. Okay, so those little details are important. Pay attention to them. I'm gonna start with the darker color, and it's black right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and lightly put some black in there. The nice thing about chalk pastels, unlike oil pastels, is that you can erase. You cannot erase oil pastels. So these are a little messier, like they get all over your fingers and kind of all over your paper, but they're a little more forgiving. You can erase them easier. All right, I don't want to do too much black, just a little black. And then I'm going to take my next color, which is my blue. Just work your way up to the lightest shade. So blue is also very dark. I'm going to kind of put that right on top of the black. So it's not solid black, but it'll just look like a really nice dark, dark, dark blue. Bring them right on top of each other. Okay, if you do too much black and then you try to blend with your finger, everything is going to turn black. So just use it sparingly. I think I actually might have used a little bit too much. I'm gonna skip to my purple, and what I'm working on is trying to get some of these really long, dark striations and lines. Okay. And you can use your finger to start dragging some of those colors up. This is also something that you can't really do with oil pastels, so they're a little bit different. So if you feel like something is getting too thick or it's looking too dark, you can drag it up. Okay, blend that out a little bit. I don't want to have it too dark. You might want to prepare yourself if this is too messy for where you are working. See if you can move somewhere else, or you can put your folder underneath your paper so it doesn't destroy the table that you're doing the rest of your projects on for your other classes. Okay, just a touch of red. Warm it up a little. Okay, and this area looks pretty light, so I'm gonna skip to this like peachy shade. So I'm basically like assigning colors to the shades, you know, peach for light, red for medium, purple for dark, and then I'm just plopping them in where I see those shades there. Okay, so I can put the peach on top of the red and it kind of turns pinkish, like that. Stylizing is okay. So if you want to kind of skip some things or add some things to make it your own and something that you think will look better, you can. Okay. And this edge is a little bit lighter than that edge. So I'm gonna drag some of this peach down and maybe overlap some hot pink on it. I do like some pops of color, so sometimes I'll just kind of like add in those bold colors and leave them there. Okay, so now I've got sort of my base down, and I can keep adding or taking away. So if yours got way too muddy and it's too dark and you added a lot of black, you can use an eraser. It will get messy. Let's see, let me show you. So if I were to use an eraser, it does come off, but then like you can't just wipe your hand on it to get rid of the shavings. You'll end up smearing the entire thing. So you have to kind of like do this to get the excess off without destroying the rest, and then you can go back in, make sure your finger is clean. See, my finger was dark, and then go over that. Okay, so erasers work. You just got to be gentle with it and pay attention to your fingers. If they're getting really dirty, wipe them off on a paper towel. And then the petal next to it is much darker, so I'm going to make sure that this edge right here, that I'm able to copy that onto here. So I'll be adding that blue. Really dark, has a little bit of black at the bottom. Don't overdo it, the black gets everywhere. So I'm gonna kind of mix them together down here. And I'm being careful not to put my finger on the edge. I want that edge to stay really clean. So I'm just working like outside of it. Okay, I'm gonna put the purple right on top, maybe a little bit of red. Okay, and my fingers are getting horribly messy, so I'm either gonna wash my hands. I don't wanna stop the video though, so I'm just gonna wrap my finger around the paper towel and